Okay, everyone, this is Jake, Robbins Family Grain, North Harbor Dairy. Hope you're having a great day. It is Sunday, July 20th. We have a rain day today. We're going to start third cutting tomorrow. We are in the midst of wheat harvest. We got about 435 acres done, and we are now switching gears to go into third cutting. So, part of my one of my passions is obviously equipment. As I'm sure you can tell, and I really am passionate about the Fendt tractors, have been for a while. And we did get this one. This is our 724. We have had this tractor, I believe this is 3 years now. It's been a great tractor for us. I've used it on a variety of implements. And what you're seeing right now is it's on the set of Massey Ferguson triple mowers, and there's a zero turn for scale. So this tractor is, and we're still working with a gimbal, so work with me there. So this tractor is really nicely set up for front work, front PTO work, and for triple mowers. I think you see a lot of these tractors out and about. What I really like about the tractors is there's really not a ton of like extra stuff. It's like everything you kind of need, but nothing you really don't. You have the ability to plug in your electric. You have your up and down for your front 3-point hitch, and then we did get it's single. There's a single remote for the front mower, and it's so you pull it up, then you drop it down via gravity. We did actually end up adding another remote to it, so you do have a full remote in the front of this tractor. We ran it all up underneath here. And we actually ran that so we could run on the snowblower. That ended up not working out, but we do have the ability to utilize this tractor on the snowblower. So we will get into the mowers later, but I really want to get into the tractor. So this is one of my favorite tractors of all time. It's a very maneuverable tractor. It's a very capable tractor. It definitely shoots above its weight class. We've put this on our big H&S dump cart, hauling silage, corn silage, and it was just an animal. Spent several weeks in that configuration, and it's a very comfortable tractor. It's got the Profi Plus cab. So our other Fendt, the 939, does not have this cab. This is like the nicest cab we got on the farm. Maybe, like the Signature Edition 9540R, which we can do later, would have something similar in terms of luxury. But yes, I think it's just an excellent, well-designed tractor. Some things I like, and I'll just go into the things I like, then maybe some things we can work on. I like the metal side panels. They're very durable. They're really easy to take off. Right now we're feeding this John Deere 7810. That tractor just kind of gives me nightmares with those side panels. You got to get them just right. Obviously, it's a 30-year-old tractor, so that could play into it as well. One thing I wish Fendt would do, and actually we have lost a fuel cap before, so this is not the original. I really wish they'd put a chain on their fuel cap. There was never a chain on it. It's probably something we could add in, but we did lose one. That would be super nice. And then you have your fuel and your def tank here. I'd have to get the exact specs on it on a full day of mowing, and we do lock in the engine at full RPMs. On a full day of mowing, you will burn through about a half tank of fuel and maybe about a quarter tank of DEF, a little less. So it's obviously not a huge fuel tank. It's in the mid 200 horsepower, but it does pull like a bigger tractor. What I do like, still working with the gimbal, so right here, the mirrors. The mirrors are adjustable from inside the cab, and I think they are heated. And there's actually a screen on the display, which is neat. I guess we'll, in 10, 20 years, how long that will last. But for the moment, it does work great. Really love having it, the ability to change your mirrors right on the screen. You can change them independently, your top mirror and your bottom mirror. The tires, we do a ton of road work. Still playing with a gimbal. The Teleberg, if that's how you say it. These tires have been excellent. We do have duals. They're very narrow. I guess you can consider this like the European configuration. Obviously, so that we could stay behind stay behind the front mower here. And this tractor does have the hydraulic front suspension, and it's just actually like a fixed axle. It's not like the ILS type style that the big Fendt would have. But we do lock that down to 0 when we mow. So the mowers and the front suspension aren't counteracting each other. And then we got the rear mowers. These are the original unit. If you've seen on Facebook, this is actually not the original front mower. I found a well casing up in Pillar Point with the original front mower, and I got bent into a U. So this is actually the second year with this mower, and it would be the third year. Oh, you're gonna see me. And this will be the third year with these mowers here. So not all original equipment, and that well casing is very well marked now. So we go to the rear of the tractor. A little hard to get to. Once again, I do like the color coordination on the back of the Fendt. It makes it really easy. What we do is I like to take pictures of, how we have stuff set up, and it's very simple to do. My one little thing that I don't love is on the hydraulics, there's not a sight glass. And so you do have, right there, you do have a dipstick, which I'm a big sight glass guy. Just like it's easy to check. You can see it. I understand maybe it's the weakest part of the system, that I'm not sure. But I think every time I just get nervous every time I get a dipstick out, especially when we're haying with it first thing in the morning. There's just dust and everything everywhere. Not a huge fan of that, but it does work. And then as you see up there, this tractor does have air brakes. A cool feature of this tractor, for those that don't know, is it goes 35 miles an hour. So it's a fast tractor by North American standards. You're gonna have your JCBs and the fast tracks. I think they go 40 or so. But I do love that this tractor can go 35, especially with the triple mowers. You are able to fly. You can go down the road and you are able to fly. The one thing we did learn from the Fendt representative is that you do have to have it in foot pedal when you are doing that. Otherwise, you're going to put a lot of pressure on the actual system, the transmission system, as it's a CVT. So you got to have it in foot pedal, and you kind of run it like a car. You don't use it with your remote, which you'll be able to see later on in the video. And so then what we've managed to do is we've put a glad hand air fitting on it, so we're able to blow this tractor off of itself. You can blow up tires, although it's not a huge air compressor, so it'd take you a while, but you could do it if you had to do something like that. I love the lights on this tractor. I love that they really kind of thought of all the angles. Nothing's really in your way per se. I do love the color scheme. I just think the white top and the like the forest green, or however they say it, the red wheels, it just really pops. A lot of people, when we drive by, they don't quite know what to make of it because it kind of looks like a deer from a distance, but it's not, obviously. So something a little different there. You have all your controls here on the back panel, which I'll zoom in on, which is nice. You can control one of your remotes, your PTO, your 3-point, which is super nice when you're hooking up stuff like these mowers by yourself, or one person's in the tractor, then you can do some fine adjustments. Okay, so I lied. This one doesn't have the hydraulics, the Massey does, but it does have the PTO on either side as well as your 3-point, so that's nice. As you can see, we broke our SMV, so we do need to probably get a new one of those. But actually, that's nice, goes right up with the window. The cab seals up really nice. You can see right here, they have a nice piece of rubber blocking right there, and that kind of keeps all of your electronics, anything running into the cab. You don't have any water coming in there. You do have a hatch on top, which I don't open. You can, but just normally with this tractor being on the hay mower, it's nice to have it just stay clean. The one thing I love about this tractor, or one of the big things I love about this tractor, is the cab. This tractor can be piping hot, especially if it's regenning, and that cab is incredibly comfortable. It's a just about soundproof cab. It's got a ton of glass. It's set up very ergonomically friendly. I just love the cab on these. They really did a fantastic job. Now, and I could be wrong, so don't crucify me. I believe this is a Gen 6, maybe with a Gen 7 cab. I forgot how it was. It's kind of one of those in-between models, I think, like our Massey. So I'll have to do more research on that. But yes, so the cab on this is fantastic. When you see us when we're mowing later, you'll see, this cab has full Bluetooth. It does have a mini cooler, which just kind of funnels your AC in, which is super nice. It's got plenty of glass, not grass. So it's got a perfect sight lines. Then we have we have our light set up so that with our mowers, you can mow at night. The one thing I wish Fendt would do, and this is just something I saw in the Massey, I've mentioned to everybody I know that works with Fendt or for Fendt, is I really wish they had a sight glass for the transmission. So the cool part about these tractors, like our Massey, is that they have two separate hydraulic tanks. So you have your hydraulic tank in the back, which is for all your auxiliary hydraulics. And that is gonna be there, right? That's gonna be your dipstick right there. So that's gonna be for all your auxiliary hydraulics, all right? And then you have a hydraulic tank for your transmission, which is super neat. So every time you go and hook up something and maybe your hydraulic end isn't completely clean, it's not contaminating your transmission. I believe I don't know how they're separate. They're separate tanks. I don't know if how the pumps are separated out, but this fluid cannot leave the tractor. I mean, obviously, unless you pierce the tank, but this fluid cannot leave the tractor. Our Massey, which you'll see in a later video, does have a sight glass in here. It's kind of like in this area. It's a little different. And I just find that sight glass really helpful. Obviously this is a tractor that you're using a lot. You don't want to, anytime you're opening up something on this tractor, you have that risk of contamination, right? Especially with hydraulics, especially with a transmission. I think it's a very well designed transmission. I have no comments there. I really do love the transmission. It's very smooth, but I just feel like every time I'm the person that likes to check, and maybe you don't need to check every single day, but we do like to check. And I just wish that they had the ability for a sight glass on both sides. Other than that, it's a very reliable, robust system. You have your battery box right in here, which is super nice. Let me see if I can get this open. There you go. So your battery box. Then you also have here, which is kind of a nice little feature. Yeah, you have a toolbox that kind of comes out. So right in there. So that's pretty nice. Once again, you're going to have, I've only had to do one stationary regen on this tractor, and that was like at 850 hours. We did that last year, and that burnt, it was hot. It was 30 minutes stationary regen. Other than that, we've had no issues with it. This tractor, and I think our field tractors, we don't have the problems with that. I'll discuss later on some of the things we've encountered with the Massey, because when we're running them red hot. I think that's an important thing to take into account. So when I talk about the Massey in a future video, this tractor is not running at idle. It's either pretty much running full bore or not at all for the most part. Kind of taking a step back, I love the styling of these tractors, and I know that's probably not the most important thing, but they are really, really, really good looking tractors. They're really sharp, and I know that this is like a Gen 6 front end, and the Gen 7 is kind of a little bit more angular, but I really just do love how they set it up. I think it's a gorgeous tractor. It's got lights in all the right places. The hood's actually metal, which is super nice. I just feel like it's a super durable piece of equipment. You do see North Harbor Dairy up there. I don't know if you can see it per se with a light right there, North Harbor Dairy. Appreciated Jim at Java Farm Supply, who actually sold us the tractor. He did that for us, so that was super neat. So yeah, I love the bonnet, I guess, as you would say. I think there's, this is nice because you have a ton of room. The one thing I will mention is that all this, especially with the mowers, this will get right full of dandelions, will get right full of hay, that sort of thing. So it's something you got to keep cleaned off. You don't have to blow it out. You just got to keep your hand on it, blow it out at the end of the day, obviously. And then the one thing I do wish this tractor had, I think the new ones do, and that's not a knock against the tractor, it's just a reversing fan. I think any tractor that's going to be on a on a mower duty like this should have a reversing fan. The big Fendt does, and it is excellent. It'll scare the heck out of you the first time it does. You think the engine's about to blow up, but it is super nice when you are planting and all that dust goes right out. So definitely helps it run cooler. So that's your front, suspension from the other side, your front 3-point. This is the line that the tractor came with. Obviously, you could set it up for more lines. That wasn't really something that was ordered on this tractor. And then we obviously ended up putting on an additional line, which runs underneath. For the PTO change out, I don't know if we've ever really had to change the PTO. We do take the drawbar off, as you'll see, for the triple mowers. We just like to take that off because this is kind of where those mowers sit, and your drawbar would be right there. So it's one less thing to worry about. What we do with these triple mowers is we kind of set it manually. So this year we set it at 4 inches. And so we were able to set it, and then if this is like your mower, we kind of set it so it's like this. That's how you kind of control your height. So obviously like this, you're going to do rocks, anything like that. Like this, you're kind of skating over anything. So set it at 4 inches, and then we kind of keep our adjustments in mind. So with your top link, and then we have actually these mowers set at, we don't quite follow the rears, we don't quite follow it how it would be, but what we do is we try to have these arrows line up. So the nice part about this, which we'll get into when we're mowing with James, is that you can set your rear 3-point, and you can set that at a certain percentage. And so we have this at like 47%. So we know when this rear 3-point drops down to 47% and we deploy our mowers, they're going to be as level as we can get them. Obviously, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's something that we found works really, really well. Really do like the mowers. We are definitely the gimbal. So really do like the mowers. They've been very easy to work on. We've done the cutter bar oil every year. The teeth are super simple to do, which we can do when we're actually out in the hayfield. We're not here on the shop floor. And then these mowers just work. Very simple. Your fold down is actually just with a rope. So you got your clamps there, and there's nothing really electronic about them. The only thing they have is power for the rear lights, and that's it. And then we store them inside every year, which is super nice. Definitely keeps them in a lot better shape than something that would have to survive outside in upstate New York. So we really love the tractor. This was a lease, and then we did end up buying it, and it's been a great machine. It's just under 1,000 hours right now, and so this is a really purpose-built setup right here. I shouldn't say purpose-built, but it's a hay mowing tractor for the majority of the year. Then we will put on the fertilizer spreader, which it does very well at. This has the Fendt GPS. It does not have Ag Leader GPS. We do run Ag Leader GPS, or not in GPS, but I would call it like Ag Leader management system. We do run that when we are spreading fertilizer with it, just so we have our, it all kind of goes up to the Ag Leader cloud. It does run Fendt GPS, which we'll show you for mowing. Like that system a lot. It's obviously very integrated. I have no complaints about that. It's definitely just seems how it's set up. It's just a European system, which is completely fine. I'm sure they say the same thing about our Green Star and on our deers. But yes, I really do like this piece of equipment. I think it's really well designed. I know Fendt was looking to capture some more market share from John Deere, or at least AGCO. And I think it's, John Deere's definitely noticed, I'm sure. They're very capable tractors. I think right now, and I could be wrong, they're not priced that differently from a comparable Deere. And I like all tractors. I have just a special thing for the Fendts because they were kind of oddballs for a long time. But I do like the John Deeres as well. And I think a lot of the new redesigned Deeres look really sharp. And I think they've really, a lot of companies, even Case, New Holland, with their redesigned units. I know Versatiles came out with the Nemesis, which is in kind of this class category. There's a lot of great tractors coming out. And I think people will really forget that a lot of these tractors are going to look different from what your grandparents used, and that's okay. Our cars do, our phones do, everything else does. And this is a tractor you could sit in for I mean, I've sat in it for, 12 plus hours at a time, just mowing right away, and I enjoy it. It's got a great sound system. The climate control is fantastic. You can get into the drive it all day long and not feel like you just ran over 1,000 logs with no suspension. So I'm a huge fan of comfortable tractors. We spend a lot of time in these machines, and I definitely think they need to be comfortable. When you have good operators like we do, you want to keep those people comfortable. So when you're doing this 6-7 days a week, depending on what happens throughout the year, you want to keep these people coming back for more. So we will do a further review of the mowers out in the field. All right, everybody, part 2. So we're gonna get into the cab. I did start this tractor just a second ago just to get my phone off Bluetooth because it does automatically connect. So if you did hear air hissing out of the air system, that's what it was. So we're gonna climb up in. Nice handrail here, all metal. Get up into the cab. We still have the original plastic on it. It's a little dirty. I am going to clean it before we start third here, but otherwise it's fairly clean. So foot pedal down. Got a big screen right here, and obviously you have your other screen as well sitting right in here. That's going to tell you just your time. We're just going to do our key. It's not a loud tractor. It's going to show a fuel code. We just got to change the sensor out. No big deal. We'll walk around here. Oop. There we go. Still learning the gimbal, so I apologize. It just sounds very efficient to me. Maybe I'm biased. So, yeah. It's obviously a little amplified because we're in the shop. I'm sure they sound really good straight pipes, but we're not those, we're not going to go mess with the EPA over that. Alright, I'm going to close the door. I'm sure you can hear it. It's nothing, which is super nice. I absolutely love how quiet this tractor is. So, and it's also, your controls there's a lot here. I'll be the first to say it. Definitely would scare off some folks. But once you learn the system, it's just like going, I would imagine, from a Samsung to an iPhone. Once you go to the system, it's pretty intuitive. So what we do, your first thing you have to really ask yourself is, what are you running? And so you can see everything. We do it on the triples, the Kuhn turbo tills. There's 30-foot turbo tills. We put it on the roller, fertilizer spreader, snow blower, ag bagger. We bag high moisture corn with this, the Husky spreader, as well as the dump cart. So we're going to click the Kuhn turbo tills. It's going to load your profile, and this is one of the coolest parts of this tractor, in my opinion. Well, there's many, but this is a super cool one. So you go to your main screen. And then we want to go check on our hydraulics, right? So all of our hydraulic settings have been, there we go. All of our hydraulic settings have been saved into the tractor. And if we want to make some minor adjustments, we can make those adjustments and resave them. But as soon as we turn it on, and then as soon as we go to this profile, it knows exactly what it needs to do. So you're going to see this is our right wing. You know, it doesn't need to be incredible. We don't need a lot of gallons per minute. Our left wing, same thing. Transport, that's like a full fold. So yeah, that needs everything to get everything up in the air. And then this is our front. And so we want to pick our front up first quickly. So you're going to see it's a lot different than our wings. So this is super nice how we have the system in here. This is all saved. So we could turn the tractor off, go do something else, come back, and this would all be saved in here. And then, I don't know if you saw, maybe I didn't see it, or maybe I didn't show it. Now all of our hydraulics went from red to actually having, the ability to see your hydraulics. So you can lock them all like that, or you could lock it an individual one like that. This is your front PTO, this is your rear PTO. You got to click it twice, which we can show you in the field. It's a little, you can click it, and then if you click it once, it wants to see if you want to change it to 540 or something like that. Obviously, which we don't, it's all 1,000. So then we have our AC system here. That's our fan. And then we'll just do that. Like that. This is our music right in here. And this turn dial here allows us to change things like on the fly. This is your transmission right here. So the cool part is with this, with everything locked out, we can press let me see, end is what we want, and it's going to pick all of your mowers up at once now, and then it shuts off. So we have Jim as well as some folks here have set it up so that this tractor, when we press go, you're going to see it's going to drop, and maybe going to drop all of our wings. Now these are gravity. That is my one thing with the Masseys. You got to get them warm. Once you get them warm, they go down like nobody's business. But when they're still a little cold, it takes a minute. So just something to keep in mind. And it finally went. So you can raise all your mowers. This is just your front mower right here. Green. Yellow is your right mower. And so you can control all your mowers this way if you wanted with your traditional hydraulic buttons, toggle switches, call it what you will, or I like to control it with the go and the end. This is your GPS right here. You do have to have your GPS button pressed here, and then you can press it up here. So that's worth noting. This one, because it's the Profi Plus, it does have those flashing beacons. The 939 does not. I wish it did. It's just something else, something that people on the road will see. Okay, so don't mind the too much water and fuel. We'll get through to that. Oh, I don't know if I can get rid of that. So it's got 800 hours. Oh, excuse me. No, that's 800 RPM. It's just over 1,000 hours. Okay, I lied. Just over 1,000. Right now you can see your transmissions in neutral. And then you can also see we have speed set for 10 miles an hour. You have your DEF tank right here, your fuel tank right here, and then over here, this is actually your air tank right in here. And then you have your coolant temperature there. And then the nice part is this will show you your front and rear PTO, how many RPM you're at. And then it's going to show you all manners of warnings and lights and that sort of thing. The windshield wiper, super nice. Oh, that's your rear windshield wiper. It's huge, and it kind of comes right through, and then it disappears. Boom. Don't even see it. So, cab, super nice. You do have that hatch, which I talked about earlier. You do have a pretty comfortable buddy seat. And we'll talk about buddy seats. Folds in, folds out. I have nothing to complain about this. It does make a nice desk or a place to sit your lunch. And then right here, this is actually your little cooler right here, and this does blow AC in, which is nice. It'll keep water cold. It's not going to freeze anything by any stretch of the imagination, but it is nice to have around. So very supportive of that feature. Coming back to our main console here, the cool part is with this tractor going in, okay, this is your main screen that you're going to see. This would be like where your GPS lines will be. This is our hydraulic front suspension. And so if we bring our mowers up, and we're going to press end, we're going to bring our mowers up. Okay, and then you will see, we lower our front suspension down, we can then lock it. So now it's locked. So it would be locked down when we mow. And that way, as I said before, so that our mower does not like skip. It's trying to compensate for the suspension. The suspension is trying to compensate for the field. It's still a very comfortable tractor. Going right here, most everything on this area can be customized how you want. You're going your end. You can have 2 different types of sequences, is what they call them. So we have one sequence up here. I don't believe we have another sequence right in here for this going end. These buttons here, your various squares and diamonds, can be situated around. So when I was on the dump cart, this would be my 4-wheel drive. Down here, this is 1 and 2. So you're going to see right there, 2, that's going to be your road mode. 1 is going to be your field mode. And then you have the ability to lock in your speed, and then you also lock in your engine RPM here. So we do that. It's running at 2,000 RPM. It's not. So we use that when we are mowing. It just keeps it consistent. Don't need to touch the throttle or anything like that. Tractor's always basically going full bore. True neutral switch we'll get into on a later video for 939 why we really need that. TMS is a tractor total management system, tractor management system. I forget the actual wording of it. It works fantastic. So when you're going down the road, the tractor spools up when you need power, and when you're at a stoplight, it sits where it needs to be. You don't need to be running 1500 RPM at a stoplight or something like that when you're mowing hay, or if you're getting to the field or you're moving around the farm, you need power, it's there, and then it idles back down. Super cool feature. You can turn it off, and then you could run it basically on your 2 throttles. The cool part is, so right here, this is just your engine RPM. I just control it with my finger. Then you also have the foot pedal mode, which is, then you can also set it so your foot pedal mode can only go to a certain RPM, if you will. So there's a ton of just the things you can do with this tractor are super neat. I would love to see a loader on this tractor. I know they use these for the loader. You can actually control the hydraulics on your mower if you want from this toggle switch, or you can control it from here, or you can control it from here. Like, the sky's the limit. Going back in here, that's your AC. AC, temperature, nothing. You do have heated mirrors, which is super neat. This is, your total cabin, keeps your windows defrosted. Go into here, mirrors, mirror control right there. Super neat. I mean, here we are, touchscreens for our mirrors and tractors. We're pretty spoiled. I have nothing to complain about there. It's going to tell you all your fuel. That's your suspension, as we talked about before. Then your 3-point hitches. Okay, so right now it's at 44. We really want it to be at 46, then we lock it in. The one thing I wish this tractor had that it does not is a percentage for the front 3-point hitch. That is the front mower is the one mower in front of you that you're actually pushing almost instead of dragging per se, not really dragging, but it's in front of you, and while your rear mowers are behind you. So I just think that this tractor really benefit from having a percentage base. So when I hook up to this mower and I'm at 46% in the front, that mower is going to be correct where I have it staged. I think that would be just awesome. Another little caveat that I wish this tractor had is a fully swinging seat. So you can't really see it right here, but you can swing your seat. I'm just kind of holding the gimbal while I do it, but it doesn't have like a free swing, which I think would be super nice. I guess it's like a $20 kit from Fendt. I wish it would have like just the ability, like a deer, to just kind of lock it up, and then you could just keep it kind of in swivel mode. I think that would be awesome. So locks into place. I mean, it's a very comfortable seat. We have right in here, we have the ability to plug in 2 USB ports here. Just USB, not USB-C. Close this down. This is like an interesting material. I do like it. We try to keep it clean. It obviously gets a little worn, but we do try to keep it clean. You can put your phone right here. This came in the tractor. I don't know if that Java added that in or we did, or not us, but Java or Fendt. But that is super nice for your phone. And then you can see we have our ag leader. It's not a Kinsey system, but it is an ag leader system that we have that Nick plumbed in here. We do have a radio as well. This is your rear view. Oh, there we go. It's your shop. really nice feel. So I have no complaints. Seat, beautiful Fendt stitching on it, whatever you want to call it. And then you have a sunshade here. Oh, which we don't. Oh, that's broken. Oh, she's not. Yeah, we got to fix that. But really, this cab does a great job of just keeping you comfortable. So I have absolutely no complaints with this cab. Besides, I'd love to see a swinging seat. You do have your posi lock, your axle lock right there. If you needed to use it on the fly. Then you have like a heavy, rubber flooring, which is actually quite easy to clean, which I like. And it's like true flooring with very few like crevices to actually get dirty. So I'm a big fan of that. Then you got like your fuse box right in there. And then we have the ability I've always thought this was funny. This is like for your battery if you want to disconnect your battery, but it's like, it has to be electronic. We've never used it, but I just have to imagine I just like the physical battery disconnect, if you will, if you were storing this thing over winter. So there you go, just over 1,000 hours, still running strong. They did a service on it. Java came and did a service on it for us for this winter. Still under the service plan. Think this tractor is just a really well built, well thought out machine. And we will show you it in the field here very soon. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to part 3. We are a safe distance away. We've had some rain here today. Oops, still playing with the gimbal. There we go. So James is mowing here after a nice rain. Very thankful for it. It's been pretty dry here in upstate New York, obviously not that way everywhere else. And this is some pretty abysmal third cutting. But we're making it up. And we're gonna hop in with it. You can see how all 3 mowers go up in sequence. It allows for us to be incredibly efficient. Now, even in really tough first cutting hay, so the Masseys are only disc mowers. There's no conditioners on them. That's why we're actually mowing this the day before we chop it. We couldn't bring out the R450, which is our John Deere self-propelled mower, because with the flails we think it would dry out too quick. So we are going to mow, roughly 100 acres here. James is going to lay that down this afternoon. Just a little bit to get us started, and then we'll work on getting everything else taken care of tomorrow. As you can see, you can kind of see it by the hay, but we do have, I don't know what you even call them. They're more like raised drums on the mowers. And that has allowed us to keep the moisture in the windrow instead of completely spreading it out, kind of like a bush hog would. And thankfully with the GPS, as you can see, we can skip a pass and never have to worry about leaving strips or overlapping too much or anything of that nature. So we'll hop in with him, and we'll meet you back in just a minute. All right, everyone, we are with James. 724.
It's a bit rough in this field.
Yeah, this one's a little rough. This one gets a lot of winter manure.
Yeah.
So what do you like about this tractor, James, now that you ran it here a couple times? You ran a lot of equipment throughout.
My favorite part about this tractor is the comfort.
Yeah.
And just the easy, it's so easy to run compared to other tractors on the market. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like this joystick and just the controls on it make life so much easier when you're
Sure.
spending lots of hours in these things.
Yep.
So it's a nice machine.
Here it is. It's James there, also known as the Farmer Fox on TikTok. We're still learning the gimbal, as I've explained to them before. James makes it look easy. So that's your view out of your back. Just gonna take. That is the Farmer Fox there. So this is actually your first time running a Fendt, right? This was your first Fendt you've ever ran?
Yeah, this was the first one.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, the 939 was the first one.
Okay, yeah, that's right. The 939 was the first one. But this is the first one you really ran in any sort of forage. So, you know, I mean, it's nice. I was talking, you know, mowing on GPS is so nice, right? You don't have to worry about your overlap, underlap, anything of that nature.
Okay.
Then you see right here, he's just going to raise his mowers. And then he's going to, oh, there we go. Gonna pick a AB line, mowers go down. There we go.
Very easy to use.
Very easy to use.
Very customizable.
Yep, absolutely. Got ourselves just, as I explained just in the previous clip, you know, it's kind of abysmal third cutting, but even in first cutting, I think you got to run a little bit of that. It just chewed it right up. Now, obviously, being that these are disc mowers, you know, you don't have that conditioner aspect you have to worry about in terms of horsepower. So I think really a true test, and I'm sure it would run it fine, but I'm sure you definitely would know it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Once again, these. And right now we're mowing at 8.1, about 1900 RPMs.
Yeah, that's another thing I love about this is the cruise control.
Yep.
You can just flick it over and you can set your cruise control.
Yep. So yeah, so you can see it's gimbal. We will get it, folks.
So I can set my cruise control just a little scroller here, and then I'll just tap it across, and then I'm in whatever speed we want to go, and I can speed up by just moving that.
Yep.
And then to lift up my mowers, I press N, lift up the front mower first, then the back, and then once I've picked a AB line,
right here.
I can press go, and I'll put my front down, and then my back, and then I'll hit auto steer.
And boom.
Boom, and then you can go and flick this across to your cruise control.
Yep.
So that's set at
just about hands free.
9.6 miles an hour, and we're doing 9.5.
Yep. That's excellent. That's excellent.
You can speed up and slow down.
Oh, and then I forgot to mention, this is your park brake right here. Obviously, I'm not gonna pull it while we're mid mow, but you pull it up, and then you push it like that, and that's your air brake. So the tractor has air brakes, hence the air tank and all of that. I didn't explain that earlier. So yeah, it's a cool tractor. I mean, this is what do you think for visibility? It's
it's
the cab.
It's got very good.
As we kind of scroll around here, you can see a lot of the world around you. No real huge pillars that block your view. You know, even our secondary def system on the smokestack is actually kind of below our line of sight, which is nice. And then if you were doing side dressing or something like that, I mean, you have a really clear visibility right to the wheels, right to your front axle if you're trying to find the rows. That would be very helpful. And actually, it does. That's excellent. And then actually, you can see on our front mower, right there, we're actually hydraulic tensiometer, I think is the technical term. The front mower is the only one where the red and the black absolutely have to be right there. On the rears, which I don't know if you can see, right there, not so much. We've kind of found out where we want to set them, and then we just keep that right there. So we're pretty happy with how we've set it up. It's every year, it's a little bit of a just remembering, you set it really once a year and you're not really taking them off, God willing, so it's less pain getting it all perfect. Definitely not a job you would want if you have OCD, trying to get it just perfect, because you can measure and remeasure for hours. So yeah, well, this will conclude our first tractor review of the 200 to 300 horsepower tractor shootout. So this was the Fendt 724. We can do a more in-depth video on the Massey mowers themselves if people would like to see that. There's not a ton of these sets in New York, but we can definitely do more on that. And we have the Massey Ferguson 7722S, the Puma 220, and then we're going to do a John Deere 7230R. So catch us next time.